Jackson fans. One juror, 51-year-old Mexican-American, is a mailman, watches Law & Order, a fan of Michael Jackson's music. Another, 39-year-old, describes himself as Cuban-Mexican male, who is also a Jackson fan, saw the documentary This Is It. Also a 54-year-old Mexican-American female. She says she watched Casey Anthony on trial on TV, and she and her daughter as a former alcohol and drug user. Finally, a 54-year-old African-American male says his father died from alcoholism. He watches HLN, MSNBC, and says he liked the Jackson 5 as a kid. Rabbi Shmuley, what's sort of jumping out at me is that a lot of these jurors have family members who have been touched by addiction in some way and who also seem to have very positive feelings about Michael Jackson. Do you think that's going to figure into their adjudicating?
Well, that's what makes this trial so interesting, Drew. The fact is that there are two trials. There's going to be the narrow focus on whether or not Dr. Conrad Murray crossed the line and became a pusher, whether he behaved grotesquely, irresponsibly by administering to Michael a hospital-grade anesthetic and then left him and did not supervise the administration of that anesthetic, and Michael died. But let's face it, this is also a media trial. There's a totally separate trial, which is going to touch on issues of addiction and fame. And this is what makes your show so particularly appealing. You know more about the corrosive nature of fame than almost anyone in this country. You've treated it. And there's never been a reckoning of the death of Michael Jackson. Conrad Murray will have his day in court. But the rest of us also want to know, how is it that a man so famous and a man so accomplished couldn't even fall asleep at night? How is it that his life was deteriorating at such a rapid rate? How is it that his talent was overshadowed by so much dysfunction? Now, I don't have a lot of sympathy for Conrad Murray. Of course, he has a presumption of innocence. But the bigger question here is, why didn't fame and celebrity bring Michael the joy that we all of us Americans think it will? 80% of high school students, when asked, what do you want to do with your life? They say they want to become famous. Kenny Ortega is sitting there saying, we knew that Michael was going to... Give me a break. Anyone who was around Michael, and let me be absolutely clear, I was not there the last few years, but anyone who was around Michael knew that there were very serious issues. These are games that are being played. When his funeral was a game that was played, the man died. A human being died. They made it into a concert. No one has mourned this man properly. There are 3 children who are orphaned, and the only question we ask is, are they going to be witnesses? This is a human tragedy, Drew, and that part has to be focused on.
Rabbi Shmuley, I agree 100% with you. Interestingly, Brian Oxman is shaking his head vigorously in agreement as you say this, and we will continue to address these issues, and I do appreciate you coming on because we're going to keep this train